It's Thursday. That means it's ThursDIAZ. Welcome to ThursDIAZ. I'm Beto Duran. How are you doing? As always, joined by the coach, Joel Diaz, who is in a bubble. Coach, today we're going to be all over the place. You're in a bubble. I'm in the garage. Roberto, he's somewhere in Mexico. He's up to something. I don't know where Roberto Diaz is at, but we're going to try to connect with him. He's trying to test out the Wi-Fi, and like we saw that when he was in Jalisco that one time where we did it, but it was back and forth because he's in a palace. So we'll see with Roberto if we can check in with him. Tono Diaz is in Mexico City somewhere. He's gonna want to come on. I don't know because Tono was good last week, Coach, but he got his fans all fired up, and all of a sudden everybody wants to come on, and it's like, no, it's not the Tono show. It's just like relax. But we haven't had a chance to catch up, just you and I. So, Coach, how are you doing, and where are you?
Look, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Beto. I'm glad and I'm happy to see you. You're always, man. You're always a type of person that motivates person, man. With just smile and always full of energy, man. I like that.
Thanks, Coach.
And I'm the same way. You and I relate. We have that energy to bring that, motivation. I'm right now. Thank God, I'm in Las Vegas. I have a Cub Swanson fighting Saturday. I think it's UFC 256.
Yep, 256.
Yes, and I'm part of it. I just came in today. I'm in a bubble. I got tested earlier, so I gotta be here. I gotta be here until tomorrow. Get my results. So nothing new. It's not my first rodeo. I've been here before, but I'm just glad and I'm happy that uh, I'm here doing what I like to do. All this year has been a little bad, but hey, things are gonna get better.
Yeah.
Other than that, Beto, we got health. We're good, thank God, and we're here again.
Yeah, it's todo lo que importa. We're doing something. We're working, kind of, but we're figuring things out. Now, you're there with Cub. What are you going to be doing at the fight? Because you're not his main trainer, correct?
Well, I'm his main boxing trainer.
Okay,
Remember,
okay.
what happens in this particular sport is these guys they do all kinds of different things. They do wrestling, they do jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. They put everything together. So, saludos, Armando. ¿Cómo estás? And I I just focus on the boxing. Cub Swanson is a great boxer. Actually, he was sparring with some of my boys at the gym for this fight. He was sparring Joseph Aguirre. He sparred, some of the guys I have at the gym. He's a great boxer. So I'm here because I started training him many years ago, 9, 10 years ago, and it's strictly boxing. He listens to me when he's on his feet. I'm the one that's guiding the fight. When he's on his
Okay.
feet, I'm basically telling him what to do. It's a boxing fight. When he goes to the ground, then that's not my business. The other guys are the ones that take over that.
Okay.
But also, I've wrapped his hands since I started working with him, and that's also something that I'm here for because he depends a lot on my hand wrap. So I know the way he likes his hands. He's had a lot of injuries in his hands before, and now he really trusts me with the hand wrap. So he knows that I'm there, and I know what he expects from the hand wraps.
Yeah, with Cub, it's going to be cool to see him because he's an older fighter, but he always brings it. I've met him a couple of times. Just one of the nicest guys. So UFC 256, El Cucuy, Tony Ferguson is going to be on that card, and that guy is crazy. I don't know if you've ever interacted with him, Coach El Cucuy. Just go talk to him when you have a chance. He
I
is,
interact I interact with most of the fighters on the cards because Cub was friends with everybody,
yeah.
and I mean I've had the honor to be around John Jones, Joe Daddy Stevenson, Clay Guida, all those guys, and because of Cub, and when we come to an event like this, everybody. I mean, to me, it makes me so happy that this is not my sport. I mean, it's my sport because I'm part of it, but it's not my main sport. I'm a boxing trainer, and it feels so good when I come into the UFC, the MMA business, And as soon as I walk in, everybody, hey, coach, how you doing? Hey, how, coach? I mean, there's people that I didn't even know that know me. You know, for example, at one point, I was at the Mandalay Bay for one of Cub Swanson's fights, and George St. Pierre, comes
Oh,
around. Hey, coach, how you doing? Like, wow, this guy knows me, and man, I was I was in Disney. I was at downtown Disney one time with my kids, and I had my girl. I had my little girl on the stroller, and I'm looking at a fountain, and I felt somebody put a hand on my shoulder, and I turned around, and it was Tito Ortiz.
come
He
on.
goes, "Hey, coach, how you doing?" Wow, hey, things like that. So it's great. Oh yeah, Swanson Pineda, and it's good just the fact to know that when I walk in this MMA business, they know who I am. They know me, and it feels good. It's a great feeling, honestly. I came today, and as soon as I pulled up in the parking, and they told me, "Hey, you gotta go do your COVID test in that trailer." As soon as I walk in there, like, "Hey, coach, how you been? How was your drive?" And I see familiar faces that I've seen in previous events when I'm right around them. So they know me, and I get treated well. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, great hospitality from all the staff here in the UFC uh, sport.
That's cool. And then you see the banner I'm posting up there, Swanson against Pineda on UFC 256. It'll be live on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus, so go and check that out. Coach will be working in that corner, so I'm pretty sure the ThursDIAZ crew will be right behind you, rooting on Cub Swanson. Just
Thank you.
just one of the nicest guys. He really, really just is a nice guy. I only met him twice, and I think the first time I met him, it was his brother was fighting, and I mentioned Diaz, and he's like, "Oh yeah." This was like 3-4 years ago, something like that. And that's actually when he told me he was sparring Virgil Ortiz. And I think Virgil might have only had one fight, maybe. And he called it. He said, "This kid gets it. This kid's gonna be a champ. This kid is just a different way that he thinks." And fighters know who has it, who doesn't. So that'll be good on Saturday.
Cub Swanson being an MMA fighter, he is the only pioneer that has sparred everybody that has been through the Diaz camp. He sparred Julio Diaz. He sparred, I'm telling you, he sparred Julio Diaz, Antonio Diaz, Tim Bradley, Virgil Ortiz, Omar Figueroa. You're talking about, what's his name? Diego Magdaleno, Joseph Aguirre, you name it. I mean, he sparred every single one of the guys out there, and he was no pushover to anybody. He's a great boxer. He's a great boxer, and that's what makes him the guy he is right now.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So Saturday night, Coach, what are you drinking? You got your Gatorade? It's a different world inside the bubble. Is there a difference between the UFC bubble and a boxing bubble?
It's the same. Same. I mean, same procedures. You get tested. You go to your room, and I have to be in the room just like the boxing.
Okay,
boxing
it's the same
bubble.
thing.
Yeah, tomorrow you can't leave until your results are negative, and then simple as that. The food, same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, we get used to it. But that's why we're doing ThursDIAZ tonight, Coach, to keep you entertained for the next hour and a half, and to see what's going on. And look, El Cuñado even says, you got to rehydrate, Coach. You got to rehydrate with the Gatorade. There it is.
Mano, I got water and I got Gatorade, so I'm good.
There it is. And I am drinking, because está haciendo frío, I got canela. My little third bowl right here. But I did put a little slug of a whiskey in there. No carbs.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, no, not whiskey. ¿Qué es esto? What am I drinking? Bourbon, straight bourbon. So bourbon, a little canela, está haciendo frío, and then I'll be ready to go because there's no carbs. Because, Coach, I can't look fat next week because I was telling you beforehand, I got the call on Monday that next week I'm going to be in a bubble in San Antonio. I am going to be working the Canelo fight next week for Matchroom and DAZN. So I'm going to be the ringside reporter. It'll be Brian Kenny Sergio Mora and Chris Mannix on the play-by-play. I'll be the one running around doing the interviews. And then I got told today that I will be doing the first 3 fights, the undercards. So if you're watching the first 3 fights of the show, I'll be doing the play-by-play for that. So I'm going to be really busy all week long. I leave now on Tuesday to San Antonio for the Saturday fight. Leave Tuesday, test Wednesday. Hopefully everything's fine. And then Thursday, I'm actually hosting the press conference. So I went. Got myself a new suit, Hollywood Suit Outlet, coach, $100. I'm going to be looking fly. Porque Canelo's puro Gucci, Versace, all that other stuff. Yeah. No, I'm going to be standing next to him. Mira, mijo. You got your horse that costs $100,000 right here, $100. It cost me $22, and Sastre Pepe El Taylor took care of me today. So I'm going to be looking like $1 million. I got purple on, coach, so I'll be right there. So I can't be looking too fat. So I've been running, been eating. There's no carbs today. I got to do what you tell me. I got to lose the 8 pounds of water weight. So what do I got to do? Because I leave on Tuesday.
Well, just cut down on your sodium, man. Just cut down on your sodium, and you'll be fine. Sodium is what retains, makes your body retain water. Just cut down on your sodium a little bit. Take a couple jogs, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Get a good sweat. But remember, hey, it's not the suit that makes you look good. It's you that makes you look good.
Yeah. I already got the haircut today. Yeah. I'm ready to go. But, Coach, I'm also – the best part about DAZN is that we don't wear ties on DAZN. They tell you they want to be more casual. So I don't have to worry about the chins being like this. I can be like that. I'll be like, shh, así nomás.
No double chin. Yeah, just
I'll be all right. And in San Antonio, you can't leave, so there's no worry about it. Oh, y saludos, a good friend here, Miguel Torres. Everybody go check out Tequila Corcel. It's a new tequila that's coming out. I've been connecting with Miguel. He's going to send us some bottles. We're going to do a tasting, all that other good stuff. So Miguel Torres.
Saludos, Miguel. Saludos.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, I'll be doing that next week. So, next week, I'll be in the San Antonio bubble. Coach will be here. It'll be interesting. And I haven't even started preparing because there was already a fight that fell out. So, I'm ready on Canelo and Smith. But the other guys, you start preparing, all of a sudden you find out that they're not fighting. So, it's just weird. Everything is un desmadre. But I'm fired up to finish up the show, the end of the year great. And then I come back at 6 in the morning. Go straight to the Thompson show, which will be on Sunday. So it's been a year where boxing has been up and down for us. Work has been crazy. Lack of work has been crazy. But then we finally say, hey, here we go, and let's get going. All right, Coach. As you see everybody involved, they're getting with us on the show. So let us know what you guys are drinking as you're interacting with us. So type in there what you got. I know Mondo has a beer that's 9%. Alan Zamora, everybody else. And... Suleb, Efra, Sam Contreras. But, Coach, for your stable, you guys are busy, right? You're in Vegas for UFC. Tono is where?
Tono is in Mexico City. We got Oscar Duarte fighting Saturday over there. Actually, Oscar Duarte and Joseph Diamante Aguirre were scheduled to fight Saturday the 12th in Cancun at a Pepe Gomez event. For some reason, it was canceled. So they're not fighting in Cancun anymore. But Oscar Duarte was moved to an event in Mexico City, and we have some fighters fighting this weekend as well. Some of the guys, one from Uzbekistan and one from Russia, fighting in Sonora as well. And Corcel, there you go.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, Coach. My buddy Carlos De La Torre is watching us right now, and this wasn't a commercial. He just sent it to me. He's like, Tequila Corcel, I have it right now. So what are the odds that Miguel is talking about Tequila Corcel? He sent me a message the other day, and Carlos De La Torre, my high school baseball coach, is watching the show right now and has it at his house. So that's the beauty of ThursDIAZ. We bring everybody together, Coach.
We got to try the tequila. Hey, we got to try it.
Yeah, ahí estamos, Corcel. We're going to be ready to go. All right, so, Coach, I'm sorry. So Oscar Duarte is in Mexico City. That'll be good. And then you have guys, the Uzbekistan guys are going to Mexico?
One of the Uzbekistan fighters that we have, a lightweight fighter, is fighting in Sonora, in San Luis Rio, Colorado. And another kid from Russia, from Moscow, Russia. 2 fighters are fighting in Sonora. I got another guy, one of the trainers that is helping me at the gym as well. His name is Oscar Gracia. He's traveling with him tomorrow for testing early morning. so they'll be there, and then the fight Saturday. So we have four fights this weekend.
Wow.
From our team.
All right, Coach. Now you've been all over the world for fights, but what's it like when you're taking an Uzbekistan guy to San Luis Rio Colorado, Mexico? Like that's not
It's
exactly a
not.
tourist place.
No, but it's these guys have been all over the world. These guys are elite fighters that in the amateurs they traveled all over the world. So I mean, it's nothing new to them. They've been to Mexico
Okay,
before.
but what about the Mexicans? How do they look at them?
Well, I mean, they're excited to see fighters from another country. Like for example, I was at I think it was when Brandon Rios fought Sorrita Soto in Tijuana. I took Shakram Diaz to
Okay.
that show in Tijuana, and it was his first time. He was excited to be there, and it was great. I mean, these guys love the food. I mean, it's a thing that we always go through it every day. These guys come to the gym and they coach. You think we can have some quesadillas? Sure, why not? Because he was introduced to quesadillas in Tijuana, and since that moment on, they love quesadillas. They want quesadillas, they want guacamole, and they love their food. And actually, I took Giasa again to Sonora when Estrada fought over there, and he also fought. So it was, they've been to Mexico a couple times, and they got some fans. Some of the Mexican fans really enjoy watching Shakram, and they're just nice kids.
Yeah.
They're up for whatever's out there. Anything new for them is exciting. And going to Mexico, they're like, Coach, is it okay? Yeah, sure. And they believe in me. They always have that little doubt in their mind, like, how is Mexico? It's okay.
Yeah, because they've
I
heard
mean,
all the stories of this
yeah,
and that. They don't know anybody. And these are guys who are coming from Eastern European countries where there's war going on. And these guys have been
right.
in there. But it's like, Mexico, you got to be careful a little bit. Because, las noticias, right? Everybody, like, oh, you can't go here. But it's one thing when you're going to Cancun, Guadalajara. But then you're going across the border. And it's like, the people, también, how do I put this without sounding that bad? Because the times I went to Mexicali, the stuff that people say in the crowd to a fighter who's not Mexican, Dios mío. So I can only imagine when they have a guy from Uzbekistan and they think he looks like a Mexican, but then he has like a Jasov or Uzbekistan name. Like the crowd reacts a little different. Like that's what it's funny to me. Like when these guys don't know.
Yeah,
¿Cómo que no eres mexicano?
Yeah, but these guys. I mean, they don't speak English, they don't speak Spanish, so they understand, and it helps a lot when they go with us.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
if there are fighters, they sort of like, they feel a little comfortable. Every time they cross the border, they always ask me, "Hey, Coach, it's okay? No problem? Yeah, no problem. Hey, once I tell them that everything is okay, that everything's under control, and then they got that peace of mind and they're fine. But I mean, they know that they learn to trust me and they learn to believe in me to that extent where when I say it's fine, and they'll be okay.
Yeah. What about the immigration coach? Who's like, wait a minute. ¿Cómo que Shakram Jasa is like no, like in Born East LA, you are now Fernando Valenzuela. Like they don't.
Yeah, there's been times where crossing the border, they're, hey, but you explain to them. I explained to them when I was in Tijuana crossing the border back, and yes, I had Shakram Giasov, and actually the border patrol. Can we take a picture? Sure, why not? He took a picture with the border patrol right at the line because we're crossing, and then we tell them, oh, we came to the event, to a boxing event. Oh, who's the fighter? Oh, him. Oh, okay. What's his name? And we tell him, oh, his name is Shakram Giasov, and then he won a silver medal in the Olympics 2016. So he got excited. He goes, really? Wow. He's from where? He's from Uzbekistan. Where's that at? So then, can we take a picture? So he takes his camera. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble, but hey, I want a picture with him. Yeah.
That's pretty cool because that not on that level, but it happened to me when I went to Mexicali. I think a year ago at this time when Tono took me, and where we just went in for the fight, came right back, and on the way back, Border Patrol on the American side, hey, stop Toño, take a picture, una foto por favor, sí, como no, here we go. All right, okay, good. And then, Coach, I go with you, and it's like, oh, yeah, a big deal. And it was like, and I forget that Mexicali is close enough to Coachella where the recognition and a lot of the fans there are really coming out for you. And when I went with Toño, they looked at his bag, and right away it was like, oh, I thought they were gonna like stop and say, give me that, or I'm just the typical American. We're expecting everything to get taken away, and it was like, no, buena suerte. Oh, vas a tener Diego de la Hoya. Okay, good, and just making sure everything's taken care of. Like the respect factor is pretty cool too.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I've traveled to Mexicali, lots of times, and there's times in which you run into some of the guys that work in the border. They get to know us. The majority of the time, as I'm driving by, I get to the checkpoint, and you get that treatment like, hey coach, how you doing? How's it? I'm like, whoa, hey, how's it going? You got any boxing going on? Oh no, I just came. Oh, okay, go ahead, no problem. There's times where we had a fight in San Diego, and after the fight we drove home, and driving home we had to go through a checkpoint, immigration checkpoint. So as soon as we got to the checkpoint after the fight, they're like, hey, we just saw you fight. Didn't you just fight a little while ago? Yeah. Okay, and, take a picture with us, and no problem. They were watching the fights. They happened on ESPN, or I think it was ESPN that day. And they were watching the fights earlier, and then we go through the checkpoint later that afternoon. It was later at night.
Yeah. How do you go across the border, right, Coach? And you do it in Mexicali, and other guys were doing in San Diego, because you're taking a 17-year-old kid or somebody just starting off their career, and it's a different world. Like, you're going there because you can't get fights in the United States, or you might be too young to fight in the United States. And then how do you convince, like, a parent, like, hey, this is good for your kid. It's safe.
I've never been in that position of taking an underage fighter to Mexico, but we had a situation where we have Antonio trains a kid. His name is Caden Griffiths. And he's young right now. He's 14 years old. But when he was younger, and we wanted to bring him to some of the amateur events in Mexicali, it was difficult trying to convince the mom and the dad, because they wouldn't cross the border. The mom and the dad would not cross the border because of what they hear.
Mm-hmm.
They never hear the good things. They always hear.
And Caden's a blonde, blue-eyed kid.
Exactly. And then everything started when I went to see a doctor in Mexicali, and I invited the father. I said, you want to come? He goes, is it okay, coach? Yeah, come with me. Just come with me. And it was my wife, his wife, and him. And I think we brought Caden with us. I don't remember. And from that moment on, they want to go all the time now, because we go to restaurants, and they see how nice it is out there when you go eat, the food, the nice restaurants, and the treatment. And now, there's no problem. I think they go by themselves now.
Hey, I'm guilty of that too, because the first time I was like, wait, I don't belong there. I don't need to go there, because I'm reading all the stories and no problem. I'm Latino light, barely Mexican. And then I go and I work a Combate Americas fight in Tijuana, and I'm like, wait a minute. The Grand Hotel is nice. Wait, this side of town is nice. I'm like, let me stay here. This is good. Like, I'm like, I'll go back again. And it was pretty cool. So I had the typical American attitude of like, oh, it's dangerous. And now let's go. I'll go again. No problem. I go to baseball games in Tijuana. I have a great time going there. So I have no problem walking the streets as long as Toño's there with me. So we'll be all right.
In every spot of the world, there's a dangerous area.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you go looking for problems, you're gonna find problems. I mean, if you go to, in your city where you live, I guarantee you, there's an area where
down the street, on the other on the stop sign, it's don't go past the stop sign. I know that.
In Indio, we have bad areas too. And across the border, there's good areas, there's bad areas, and at the same time, if you go out there just to do your thing, you're gonna go to a restaurant, you're gonna go to the doctor, you're gonna go to an event. You don't bother nobody, nobody's gonna bother you. It is random that once in a while you do run into an asshole out there. Like you get pulled over by a police because they just want money. Obviously, it's happened to me. It's happened to me. I went to a boxing event actually in Mexicali, and I made a turn on a green light because I didn't see an arrow, and boom, I get pulled over, and the cop just says, "Hey, you made a turn, you didn't wait for the arrow," and I said, "I didn't see no arrow. I made a turn on green. I just made sure there was a car. No, but there was an arrow. Where? It's over there. It was like behind a tree. Oh, okay, now I see it." So he tells me, "So how do you want to do this?" I'm like, "Okay." So, you have to pull out your wallet. That's it, and then there's no problem. But other than that, I mean, there's no other. I mean, if you go out there, it's like everything. If you go to Mexicali, and you start flashing yourself, you start acting like like you're somebody. Of course, you're gonna catch attention. Somebody's gonna say, "Hey, who's this guy?" But if you go in there as a normal civilian, you go take care of your business, low key, nobody's gonna bother you. You're gonna have a great time. I mean, I go out there, I go with my family, I take my wife, I take my kids, and we go to really nice restaurants. Let me tell you what happened one day. I go to this restaurant. It's called La Carreta. I go there a lot, and the food is really good.
Is that where I met you with Tono at that one restaurant? Probably.
I don't remember.
Okay.
No, we went to the taco shop. Didn't we go to the taco?
Oh yeah, we went to the taco. Yeah. That place was
We went to
good.
the taco shop. No, this was the restaurant. So I walk into the restaurant, and it was a little awkward because we sit down and there was boxing, and they have TVs, right? And I look up, and I don't remember who was fighting, but it was one of Robert Garcia's fighters. And as soon as I walk in, every single guy that was working at the restaurant was just looking at me. And I could hear them whispering, right? And then, they were coming around and they were just staring at me. Like, okay. And then one guy decides to come up to me and say, "Are you Robert Garcia?" And you know what I did? I look at the TV and I go, "That's Robert Garcia." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." You know what I mean? And it was like a coincidence that one of Robert Garcia's fighters was fighting, and the fight was on TV.
Yeah.
And they just come up to it. "Are you Robert Garcia?" And I'm like, "That's Robert Garcia."
See how they are all of a sudden, Coach. This is a good one right here. The Green Eyed Bandit says, "I heard Mexicali has some amazing Chinese food." They do. They have great Chinese food. And I found out the story the first time I went to Mexicali. I asked why. So back in the day, there was a migration of Chinese people to Tijuana and to Mexicali because there were people who couldn't get across the United States. They just stayed there. They started making the Chinese food there. They developed a restaurant. They started making money. So it was two different families. And then from there, they said, forget it. Why do we have to go to the United States? We're making a bunch of money here. And that's why in Mexicali, there's a bunch of good Chinese food. And I've tried it. It is fantastic.
Some of the best Chinese food is in Mexicali.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been to some nice restaurants in Mexicali.
Yep.
Food is really, really good. Yeah. There's a lot of Chinese people out there.
Yeah, I was there when, was it 2016, they were playing the qualifiers for baseball, for the World Baseball Classic. So Mexico, Nicaragua, the Central American countries were playing. And they told me, I jumped in with the Mexico team. They're like, "Oh, we're going to go to dinner." I'm thinking, all right, mariscos, algo, Chinese food. I'm like, what? But then it was a really, really nice restaurant and some of the best Chinese food I've ever had. It was really, really good. I know it sounds weird, but it's really, really good. Carlos Del Torre says Puro Cachanilla. Of course, Raza goes to Mexicali for facials. He does. He has a doctor out there, a plastic surgeon that takes care of him. What else we got? So Send it. Terry Razzo. Oh, and by the way, happy birthday to Terry Razzo. She had a birthday this past Sunday. Mrs. Razzo is watching right now. So Terry had a awesome quinceañera. So happy birthday, Terry.
Happy birthday. Hey, that was really good, man, what you did on the show this weekend.
Oh, on Channel 2? So I was able to sneak in a happy birthday for Terry because they were watching the Rams game. So on CBS 2, I said, I'm like, how am I going to be able to sneak it in like a happy birthday without saying, hey? So I said, the Rams, Aaron Donald, a good friend of mine, Terry Razzo, having a birthday. I told her, don't worry, the Rams are going to win. Don't worry about that. So I was able to sneak the birthday in for her. Yeah, for her. And I also got in my friend Ricky Romero, the baseball player, his son Sebastian. Coach, you're talking about somebody who recognizes you on TV. His son is 5, and the kid's all into Harry Potter right now. So he thinks he's a wizard. So when I go to his house, I'm always, I look like me, right? Like I'm in sweats, and I usually don't have my hair brushed at all, or we just got to work it, whatever it is. So he's watching TV, and Ricky tells him, "Hey, do you know that guy?" He's like, "No," because I have a tie, I got my chins, and I got my makeup on. Kid's like, "No, I don't." He goes, "That's Beto." He goes, "No, it's not. Have him say my name. Have him say my name." So he sent me a text. He goes, "Sebastian, watching this." Sure enough, I said something about, like my good friend Sebastian Romero, who thinks he's a wizard, because we were talking about something, and the video that Ricky got, he went, "Oh!" He's like, "How did he know this?" So messing with a 5-year-old, sending birthday shout-outs to Terry. So that's what we do on TV. Hey, what happened to Tono? Mr. I want to come on the show. I want to come on the show. He's not even here.
He probably fell asleep. Remember, Mexico is, I think, 2 hours ahead. So
yeah, but see,
Antonio at his age, he falls asleep early. He's probably out.
He's not even watching though. I thought he would be watching, getting his fans ready to go, all that other stuff. But no, like
Antonio,
I even had the graphic ready for him. Look,
if Antonio sits on a chair for more than 5 minutes and he has nothing to do, he'll fall asleep.
See, right there, I got his choose my leader ready. I got his name ready. But no, he's not here, so we don't need him at all. All right, if you guys have questions for Coach, type them in there. We'll get to some of those questions for you. We'll be going if you want to jump on in. And then Coach is in Las Vegas. I'm in Carson in the garage. And Roberto Diaz is not going to join us today, Coach. I don't want to risk having the Wi-Fi problems like we did last time.
Right.
So no Roberto Diaz today. He's somewhere in the hills of Mexico, so we'll catch up with him next week. Oh, look, Tono, I am watching. I don't know.
One of his only fan, which is Alan Zamora, is the only one watching him. No, Alan Zamora is probably right there cheering for Antonio. He's the only fan he has.
Yeah, that's all it is. Coach, let me ask you this question. So the fights are coming up, and then we start seeing guys that have a fight and all of a sudden fall apart because of COVID. Has that happened to some of your fighters where they're training and all of a sudden it's not going to happen?
You know what? Thank God, no. Thank God we have not had that problem. All of our fighters that have been training in my camp, when they have a fight or a date, haven't. You know what? Knock on wood, none of them have had that issue to this date.
That's good then. That's good because, like I said, I was getting ready and I started looking at my stuff and like, nope, that fight's not going to happen. What's the attitude like of your guys that are in camp right now? Like they are training, but they don't really have a fight, but they're in waiting. And like, at what point do these guys? Can you see the frustration and how do you break that?
Well, I see it every day.
Really?
I see it every day. For example, I have one kid from Uzbekistan who has been here for, I think, a little over 2 months. And a little over 2 months is a little too much training. When you're training constantly, you're training hard every day, and there's no date ahead of you, there's no motivation to train, you know? And when you see that everybody else is fighting and you don't have a date and you're training, sometimes you have to make some adjustments. When there's nothing in the horizon, you have to slow him down a little bit. You can see the frustration in their faces. Actually, sometimes you see that after 8 weeks of hard work and losing weight, you see them in the gym and you put them into spar, and 3 rounds, 4 rounds, they're tired. And you figure out that they're not tired lacking of condition. They're tired because they're just bored already. They're feeling that overtraining in their body already.
Well, we were talking about this. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Before we started the show, you asked me how my son is doing, and he plays basketball and he works out every day. And luckily, he's been able to get a couple of games in. There's a league going on, but it's not a real game because right now his high school season would be starting. And he's younger. He has the right attitude, but I could see the frustration kind of get into him where he doesn't work out, but he's not working out as hard as he could. But then the next day he works out harder. So I can only imagine what a fighter has to go through. And like with or kids who are playing baseball in high school or football where you see them working out, but then you can't go and put that hard work on show. You can't display it. So if a teenager, I could see the frustration. I can only imagine a pro fighter where, hey, if I don't fight, I don't feed my family. That has to be a bigger toll for these guys too, right?
Exactly. You know, there was actually a show, a national amateur show that was scheduled. If I'm not mistaken, it was last month, and two of Antonio's our fighters were scheduled to fight on that tournament, and they were motivated. They were training hard. This one of the kids, 16-year-old Grant Flores, and this young girl that Antonio trains, her name is Jocelyn. They were training, looking forward to that tournament because it was it was like the only tournament that was going to happen, this year, because from the beginning of the pandemic, there has been no amateur events. So these kids, once they heard that there was going to be this tournament, and I think it was in Louisiana, I think New Orleans or something. So they were training really hard. They were training. They were putting in the work. They were preparing themselves, and they were motivated. They were happy, and the parents started looking for rooms, ready for travel. And Antonio said, "Hey, relax, guys. Let's take our time. We don't know if it's gonna go on still." And everything was going good. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a week prior or 2 weeks prior, the whole event was canceled. So, kid comes to the gym, and I was helping Antonio train him, and you could see in his face he was demoralized. He was like, "Man, I trained so hard." I mean, actually, the kid was gonna fight at 141, I think, and he was already walking around at 144, and like only 3 pounds over. And he was, "Hey, coach, look at me. I'm all ripped now. I'm training hard, and I'm ready. I'm ready for this tournament." And I told Antonio, this kid's gonna go over there, and he's gonna knock out every single person that steps in the ring with him. And he was motivated. He had the motivation. And all of a sudden, I saw the first post on Instagram saying that the whole tournament was canceled. And then all of a sudden, I saw him post it, and like, wow. So when he comes into the gym, like he still came to the gym, but the motivation wasn't there. He still trained, and that's when we have to come in and make them realize, hey, you know what? Things happen for a reason. Let's shake it off. Let's finish the year. Things are gonna get better. You're getting better. You're only 16 years old. You're learning every day, and by the time things get back to normal, you're gonna be ready. Just stay in the gym. You don't have to go 100%. Let's keep training, and let's modify the work. So the kid's in the gym every day. He's happy that he's part of a team. He's been sparring some of the pros, and he's excited now. Now he comes to the gym with the motivation that he's training with the big guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but even though there's no date or there's no tournaments or shows coming soon, but I already told him. Manuel Flores, another kid that fought on a top ranked show and put up a great performance against this undefeated Puerto Rican kid, and everybody was talking about Manuel Flores right after the fight, so couldn't put him back in another show, before the end of the year. So I had to tell him he trains every day. Actually, he fought on a Saturday. He was in the gym on Monday, and I told him, "Hey, Manny, just hang in there. Things are gonna get better. Just keep your head up, and the beginning of the year we'll start looking for something. Let's finish the year, but let's keep our minds set and keep staying big, stay active in the gym."
Well, that's one thing too that I'm noticing with some of these fighters, and the guys that I follow on Instagram, I don't follow too many of them, where they'll be running for a couple of weeks, and then they stop because you can tell probably they didn't get a fight or what's going on. And one of the things too that sports psychologists and experts always says that you got to give everybody a break. You can't do it every single day. And I know eventually I'm going to have to tell my son, like, okay, you're going to do nothing for 2 weeks. Like, you're 15, go be a kid. Do nothing. I mean, we can't do much, but just getting away from the sport of the same deal, the same routine, because you can see the frustration part. You can see the mental anguish on people. Heck, I haven't gone to a gym in 9 months. I've been trying to run. I hate running, but it's just you try to figure out different things to do. So I can only imagine an elite athlete like the ones that you have who love the competition, love the fighting, yet you can't get mad at them if you tell them, "Hey, tomorrow at 6 o'clock we're gonna go run the sand dunes," and they're like, "For what?" Right?
Yeah,
you can see that.
It's like another example. This guys that are gonna fight Saturday in Sonora. they've been training so hard. They're elite fighters, and now we put them on this show in Sonora against late replacements. We had to find opponents for them. There's no motivation there. All they're doing is, you know what? Let's just make use of the training that we've been putting in for 2 months. But there's no motivation. The motivation comes when there's actually something to look forward to, some serious competition, good events. Something that's gonna give them exposure. That's not gonna give them exposure. It's just something so that they can stay busy. But there's no motivation to it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, you just said something that is very important. Let the kids be kids. In this sport of boxing, there's a lot of kids that bring their parents to the gym, and parents become part of it, and parents want to control uh, everything they do. There's parents that don't let the kids be kids. They come to the gym and they train, and then when they go home, they're at home, and the fathers are playing the trainer role as well. Like, they don't let them eat what they want. They can't do certain things. They have to keep training. Before you go to sleep, you gotta give me 100 push-ups. Before you go to sleep, you gotta. I mean, let a kid be a kid. And there's times in which there's no activity, there's no shows. They still keep, pushing them into training hard and training hard. Come on, man. Let the kids be kids. Sometimes when the kids, perform, they're done with the tournament, they're done with the show, they perform well. Give them 2 weeks off. So they can, be kids and do something away from the sport, and they'll come back motivated. They're hungry. They want to do it again, because boxing is a sport that is a magnet. You cannot walk away. Once you start doing boxing, you cannot walk away from it easy.
Yeah.
Especially if you really love it. If it comes from the heart, believe me, you take 2 weeks off from the sport, from coming to the gym, and then all of a sudden you just want to come back. It's like trainers, like me, for example. I'm like, man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this sport, honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, every day. And let's say, for example, once a year I go on a vacation with the family. And if I go, for example, I love going to Cabo San Lucas. I go to Cabo San Lucas for a week. I mean, it's not even a week when I'm like, I want to go to the gym already. And it hasn't been a week.
Yeah.
It's like I'm complaining that I'm tired of the sport. I'm tired of this. And, it's stressful going to the gym every day, doing mitts with this guy, is dealing with all kinds of bullshit. And all of a sudden, I said, I want to go on a vacation. Boom. I leave. First day, second day, I'm good. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying my time off. By the fourth day, I'm already like, man, I want to go back. I miss the gym,
Yeah, because you're doing something you love, but at the same time, I remember when I first got into the sport as an announcer, I would go hang out at the gym where Manny Robles and Estrellita were there, and just to see and absorb it, because it's right down the street from the house. And I remember asking Manny during Christmas, I'm like, Manny, so what do you do during Christmas? He's like, I can't take a break, because if I'm not here, the fighter, who's he going to work out with? And that's when it hit me, like, I didn't realize at that time, I was so new to the sport, that you had multiple fighters with staggered out different times, and that you have to do it. You really can't have time for yourself. The fighter fights, and then he goes and takes his break. The trainer fights, and then he's right back in the gym, porque si no trabaja, no comen.
Exactly.
And
that's why I always said, I respect every person that has the same job as I do as a trainer. I mean, I could mention names: Freddie Roach, Manny Robles, Robert Garcia. I mean, Salas. Every single trainer out there, I have much respect for everybody, and it's because we go through so much. For example, us trainers, we finish the year, and we have fighters fighting the beginning of the year. Okay. For example, I already got scheduled fights for some of my fighters the end of January and the beginning of February. So what does that mean? That I have to train fighters during Christmas and during New Year's. So there's no time off for me. Actually, there's a possibility that one of my fighters is fighting December 26th on the PVC show in LA. Okay? So what does that mean? That I have to be in the bubble since like the 23rd or 24th.
The 23rd.
So where am I gonna be for Christmas? In a bubble. And a lot of people don't realize that. We go through so much. Meanwhile, everybody's gonna be at home having dinner with the family, enjoying their Christmas. A lot of us in a bubble, everybody that's gonna participate in that event on the 26th is gonna be in a hotel room by themselves.
Yeah.
It's a sacrifice, but people don't see it, and it's reality because uh, us trainers, I mean, we miss a lot of special events, kids events, uh, your parents events, your wife's events, your own personal events, birthdays, anniversaries. We miss a lot of that stuff, and people don't see the sacrifice that we go through, and going back to the kids and parents that don't give kids breaks, they need to. Boxing is a sport that makes kids mature at a really early age. They don't enjoy their childhood. Parents need to step aside a little bit and let the trainers do their job. And if the trainer's a good trainer, he's gonna know that coming up as a kid, there's times to train, to compete. At the same time, there's times to relax and enjoy their childhood. Because all of a sudden, this sport is gonna bring you deeper and deeper, and all of a sudden, you're not gonna know. You're gonna forget when you were a kid because you didn't have that childhood. There's times in which, hey, you have to relax, let the kid relax and enjoy. He comes back stronger, motivated, hungry. But if he's just constantly boxing, sooner or later he's gonna wear out. He's gonna break down.
And in boxing and also with wrestling, it's the only sport where you have to watch your weight. Like as a kid, you're not supposed to say, "Hey, I gotta watch my weight." Like if you're in good shape, you should not be saying, "Oh, I gotta watch these couple pounds right now." If there's a pastel there, you should be eating it. If there's pan dulce, you should be eating it at 10 years old. I cringe when I see some of these Instagram pages of kids that are out there fighting, and it's great. They're talented. That's awesome. But at the same time, it's relax a little bit. And I see that with my son, having worked in sport. Not that I'm saying I'm the best dad when it comes to sports, but the role I have with my son, because I've worked in sports my entire life, and I used to work at a park, and I always see the yelling coaches. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. The role I have with my son Mateo since he was a little kid was when we walk to the car, we'll talk about the game. As soon as the door closes to that car, it's, okay, are we going to McDonald's or are we going In-N-Out? Which one is it? Like, don't even bring it up anymore. Now that he's in high school and I'm paying a bunch of money, the other conversation is different. Like, because he's been playing in Deep Orange County. I'm like, hey, fool, I paid this much money. You need to get more than 6 points. But now the expectations are different. He's 15. When he was 10, it's like, are we getting a Happy Meal or not? Are we going to share the nuggets or not? Like, that's what matters. And if it's hard enough for the adults that are professionals, I can only imagine what these kids go through too. And that's why I don't know how we ended up here, but it's just, I think everybody is so fatigued of this pandemic, and we got to stay home, we got to wear the mask and all that other stuff. And exercise is supposed to be fun for you. It's supposed to be enjoyable. And if you're just grinding all the time, you're not going to like it.
Look, Beto, that kid I was talking to you about that was supposed to participate in that tournament in New Orleans, he has a little brother, and I don't know, you guys have probably seen him on my Instagram. He is the kid that has the long hair. He has long hair.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, his name is Gabino. That kid's name is Gabino. He's only 8 years old, 9 years old, and he's really tough. And he loves boxing. He loves boxing like you don't imagine. He trains. If you tell him to train every day, he'll train every day. He runs in the morning with his brother, and he's only 8 years old. Okay, and his dad calls me, "Hey, coach, are you guys gonna train tonight?" If I say no, it breaks my heart because that kid wants to train. So what does he do? His brother, his 16-year-old brother, holds mitts with him in the garage, and I watch his stories. When he doesn't train with us, his brother holds mitts for him in the garage at night. Recently, earlier today, I saw his brother working with him. But like I said, these kids, they want to be training every day. Right now, they're tired of this. They're tired of this pandemic. They want to get back in action. That's why Antonio and I, during the week, as much as we can, after we train the pros at night, we just do it because we want to see the kids, happy. We want to see the kids active. So we go out of our way. Antonio calls me, "Hey, let's go train the kids. Even though I'm tired, I get home, I have lunch, and I'm sitting in the couch watching TV, hanging out with my family. Okay, Antonio, let's go. I'll meet you at the ranch.
Y hace
We go to the
frío.
ranch.
Hace frío en Coachella, coach.
Exactly. Hace frío, and we train them. Now, look, today as I'm driving to Vegas, finally, after a couple weeks of struggle with the city of Indio, they finally released power. Okay, now we have power in the building.
All right.
The electrician, the electrician is gonna come by and is gonna set up some temporary power so that we can, so they can work and keep working because now the days are short. People that want to come in and work in the afternoons, they can't because there's no power. Now there's power. Now we're gonna advance. So now Antonio and I spoke about it. Said now that it's cold and we can't train at the ranch because it's gonna get colder. Maybe we can train at the building. We're gonna clean up the building. There's gonna be an area where we're gonna clean up, or the nice area where they remodel, and maybe at night, now that we have power, we can train some of the kids, in small groups, and train them there in the afternoons. So that's actually a good news for us, and that happened today as I'm driving to Vegas. They called me from the company and from the city saying, "Hey, Mr. Diaz, we're gonna release power. We just need you to go and open the lock to the box." And I sent my son over there, and I was gonna say this about my son. When my son was little, he started boxing when he was 1 year old. Okay, and like I said, I know that every
In diapers?
out there.
He was in his diapers, coach?
Well, he was because he was in his crib. He was in his crib. He couldn't even walk yet when my wife bought him his punching bag and hung it on the crib. So he would punch the punching bag in the crib, right? And when he started walking, he always, and I got pictures. One of these days, I'm gonna put a little album together so you can see. When he started walking, he always had tape on his hands. Remember, at that time when he was born, I was traveling with my brothers, and he would travel with me, and he was always like everything he saw was just boxing, boxing, boxing. So he was, I remember Kenny Thompson. Kenny Thompson would always tell him, "Hey, how you doing?" He would shadow box, and Kenny would give him money here and there, and he was a really good little boxer. And I'm not gonna lie because, like everybody says, is your son. When it's
No.
your son, you have the best fighter in the world, okay, and the future champion of the world, the next Golden Boy, the next Mayweather. But when my son was growing up, I know that he had talent. He was really good, and then he had, I think, like 6 fights. And Antonio tells me, "Hey, we're invited to go and compete against Hawaii." Okay. He goes, "Hey, let's take Junior." I go, "Okay, let's go." So we all went. We go to Hawaii, and I remember it was the first time that I felt that little. It's like a weird feeling inside when I take my kid to Hawaii to compete. He was like 7 or 8 years old at the time, and I remember he had to lose weight. And going back to what you said earlier, kids are not supposed to lose weight. They have to eat that cake, right?
Yeah.
If they go to a party and they see a cake, they gotta eat that cake. And I remember that Antonio told me, "Hey, but he has to make this weight." I go, "Okay, don't worry, we'll make him lose weight." So he started losing weight. And he was motivated to fight. So we go to Hawaii. I remember going to the hotel, and that morning of the weigh-ins, Antonio says, "Hey, let's go. We're gonna go to the weigh-ins." So I wake up Junior. I go, "Hey, let's go." I still remember he throws on his little shirt and he had sandals on, and I could tell on his face that he was hungry. I could tell, and it hit me that day. It did hit me because as we're walking to the weigh-ins, and I saw him. He was hungry early morning, and we get to the weigh-ins, and I saw the kid he was fighting. The kid he was fighting was a little bigger than him, and he had more fights. And I was nervous. I told Antonio, "Antonio, you sure?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Hey, the kid's bigger." And then all of a sudden, he's outside. He's outside the building, and he's climbing palm trees up there. I'm telling you, his feet were like hands. I'm telling you, he was gripping that palm tree, like climbing up and grabbing coconuts. And that the kid Junior's fighting? Yeah. I got more nervous. Actually, Antonio knows when it was fight time. I told Antonio, you handle him. I'll be outside because I'm too nervous.
No.
But going back to the weigh-ins, after Junior made weight, we're leaving the building, and I'm looking at my son, and I feel like, man, he's hungry, and he goes, Hey, Dad, can I have a steak? I go, sure. If you want two, I'll buy you two. Let's go. But because he wanted a steak, like you said, hey, you go to McDonald's, get some chicken nuggets, whatever you want. But at that age, he's already craving a steak because he made the weight. To me, he made the weight. He's ready to fight, and he's hungry. And he asked me being his dad, can I get a steak? Sure. If you want two, I'll buy you two.
Yeah.
But it's true. Kids are kids, and they need to be kids.
And speaking of kids, Tono jumps
Chusma.
in right now. The leader of the Chusma. Tono, you remember that trip to Hawaii?
I sure do.
And what
It was
happened?
an awesome trip. It was an awesome trip.
But why would you make your nephew fight, man?
The thing is that when he started training, we could tell he had the talent. I mean, he had a powerful right hook and a powerful straight left. More the right hook. So we fought him a couple of times in one of my shows. Then he fought once at the Desert Showdown, and he won those tournaments. So when we got invited, the guy sent me a list. He goes, "Hey, this is the list of the fighters I need." So there was a kid, same age as little Joao, and similar weight. But I was like, that's when I asked Joao. I go, "Hey, Joao, what do you think? I mean, should we fight Juelito in Hawaii?" And Joao was pumped up. He goes, "Yeah, let's do it. I mean, let's go ahead." So, but yeah, Joao was a little bit overweight at the time. But and I told him, "Hey, but he has to make this weight." I remember, I think it was like 75 pounds, 70 or 75. Joao was 8 years old. He was weighing like 80 something or 90. So Joao got him down in weight, and he did. He went, he fought, and he won. I mean, he did very good.
Oh, he won the fight?
Yeah, he won the fight.
Ah, see?
Little Joao retired 10-0.
So he won the scale, he won the steak, and he won the fight.
Yes.
And he even I think because the day of the weigh-ins, after we ate, they had a luau for us, for the guy who did the show, Fred, Papa Fred. They call him Papa Fred. They had a luau for us there, and he was I think they got him inside to do some dancing and stuff, and man, he did good.
Tono, where are you?
I'm in Mexico City, Reforma,
Reforma.
drinking water.
Drinking water. This is the sober show record today. So you're drinking water. Coach got his Gatorade. I'm not even going to drink anymore.
See,
That's okay, Beto. You can drink for us, man. Don't worry. Hey.
Okay.
Hoy por ti, mañana por mí.
No, earlier when you told me that I was gonna go on the show, I was gonna go downstairs to the restaurant and tell you, "Hey, sell me 2 couple beers." I said, "Nah, I really don't like to drink when I'm at the fights.
Yeah.
I drink a beer after the fight."
Yeah, you're very, and I'm being serious here. You're very professional when you're on the road with your fighters,
Yes.
and we talked about that and respect you for that. Tono, are you by your computer? Where's the computer at?
On my laptop.
Yeah, we'll get a little closer to the microphone, man. The Chusma wants to hear you, Tono.
No, the thing is that I didn't bring I forgot my headphones.
Oh.
I forgot my headphones, so I'm using just the iPad.
Using the iPad. That's all last week we told you, Tono, we're gonna do this. Tono, you're gonna do that.
I know.
¿Y qué pasó?
You told me take your iPad and you're on the show. I brought the iPad. You never mentioned the headphones.
Oh, come on! It's like, Coach. We gotta fight, Coach. Take the gauze, right?
Hey,
Take the gauze. Tono, take the gauze. Oh, but you don't need gloves. Why? Well, you didn't tell me about the gloves.
you don't need scissors. You
You don't need scissors.
Take the gauze, but hey, you didn't tell me to take tape. I
Yeah.
just brought the gauze.
Hi, Tono. See, we should have known better. How's Oscar Duarte doing?
Oscar's doing good. He worked out in the morning. We worked out a little bit in the morning. He ate twice today, and he's asleep right now. He's already in bed. He's only a button over, so he's sleeping off.
Okay, so
But you sound good right there. If you go back, you sound far.
yeah,
Stay right there.
stay right there. Oh, he just told you. No entiende. No entiende. Tono, is Duarte the main event Saturday?
No, the main event is on 2 girls.
Okay, so El Duarte is El Gallo. He's good. Looking good?
Yeah, Duarte's looking great.
Now,
He's always looking good.
I saw something. You were, what were you doing in the room with them? You got like shadow boxing or what was that going on?
Yeah, the thing is that he woke me up in the morning. Why I called him in the morning. He told me, "Hey, let's go work out in the morning." So we got together. We called the front office. We're supposed to call the front desk to get the key for the gym, but they said, "Oh no, it was already 9 o'clock." They said, "Oh, it's too late. You can only use the gym from 7 in the morning to 8 at night, 1 hour, and you have to make an appointment. You have to reserve it, or you can use it from 7 at night to 8 at night." From
Mm.
7 in the morning to 8, or 7 in the morning p.m. to 8 p.m. So we didn't get to use the gym. So he just did some shadow boxing, and we worked some defense, head movement, and some jump rope in the ring. You know what I mean, the hotel.
This is just a weird time when we're talking about it, but you would think the gym would help you out, but no. Like, you just got to figure it out on your own. And if you're trying to lose weight, well, what do? You turn the heater on in the room, or what do you do?
No, no, he just put on his sweatsuit, his plastic, and jumped the rope 20 minutes. And then he shadow box three rounds. Then we did a little bit head movement, like 3 rounds, and then he did another 2 rounds, and he was good. He lost like 2 pounds, 3 pounds.
Beto,
Monday.
Beto, if you're in this business, if you're in the boxing business as well as the wrestling business, believe me, you know how to improvise when you have to sweat. Believe me, we've done it all. I mean, from
But here,
jumping rope in the room, you move the beds, move whatever it is, jump rope, shadow box, do it in the room, or you go in the hallway and do some jogging in the hallway back and forth, or turn on the hot water in the bathroom, and just put a towel underneath the door, and just with a steam, just start shadow boxing in there or whatever. But you will sweat, believe me.
Wait, so you can make your own steam room?
yeah,
So I'm about to do that
Yeah.
next week. I'm about to do that. So you
Yeah,
turn.
let's try it. Hey,
All right.
go in the bathroom and turn on the hot water, just hot water, and just let the hot water just
but close the door.
run. But close the door. Close the door in the bathroom, and then put a towel on the bottom so nothing comes out under the door, and just sit there. If you sit there for 30, 45 minutes, believe me, you start sweating, you start breaking the sweat.
So you'll lose a couple pounds?
Yeah. And if you put a sweatsuit, I mean, if you put a sauna suit on, you lose 3, 4 pounds.
No.
Yeah.
The sweat cream,
Is the sweat cream? Wait, does sweat cream really work?
it sure does.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Now I'm asking for all the gorditos and some of the ladies. So that sweat cream.
Hey, don't talk about me.
Oh, Beto, you want to lose weight? You want to
Yeah.
watch?
Yeah.
Watch. Go get some mineral oil. Go to the pharmacy. Get
Okay.
some mineral oil. Okay, mineral oil.
Mineral oil.
And get some wintergreen alcohol. Okay, wintergreen alcohol and mineral oil.
Is the rubbing
You
alcohol?
see the alcohol? You see the alcohol? The green alcohol
Yeah.
is wintergreen alcohol. So you get same portion of wintergreen alcohol and same portion of mineral oil. Put it in a bottle together
half and half.
and mix it.
Uh huh.
And put it all over your body. Put it all over your body, and then fill up the tub with water. Fill up the tub with water, with hot water, not hot. I mean, warm enough so that you can get in there and sit in there, and put like half a bag of Epsom salt.
Oh
Epsom
my
salt.
god. Uh huh.
And then just when you put the mineral oil and the wintergreen alcohol in your body, just
And then the water.
get in the water. It's gonna be hot, so just sit there. But remember, first start with 5 minutes the water on your stomach, and then bring it up 5 minutes up to your chest, and then 5 minutes up to. By then it's 15 minutes. You're gonna do like
To your
a
neck.
20 minutes in the water when it's hot. I guarantee you're gonna lose 4 pounds in like 45 minutes.
Is that what you guys do with the
Why?
fighters when they have like where they can't lose anymore? Is that what you guys do with them? Is that an extreme
Sometimes.
case?
Yeah.
Because I know the wrestlers do it. The UFC guys
Yeah.
do that a lot.
When you
Yes.
put the mineral oil and the wintergreen alcohol in your body, and then you get in the hot water with Epsom salt, and just sit in the water like up to your stomach, pretty soon you're gonna start feeling the sweat rolling on your from your face, your forehead, and then 5 minutes later you just go down a little more until you got the water up to here. By then, I mean, you're not gonna notice you're gonna be sweaty, but you're gonna be sweaty. Your pores are gonna open and you're gonna start breaking water. But
You
you're
can
gonna tell
also
because
put
of your
the-
face.
You can also do
Even when you get out of the water,
I'm gonna do that next week in San Antonio because I got nothing else to do. I can't leave the room
try it.
because on
Try it. You're gonna lose at least 4 pounds. 4
Do it for
pounds
6
in 1
hours.
hour.
because I have a shirt I really want to wear, but I don't. It's right now the buttons might be hitting to you, so I don't want to. So I'm gonna do that on Wednesday because on Wednesday I have to stay in the room because I take my test. I have to stay quarantined. So I have nothing else to do. Right? I can't do anything. So I'm gonna do that Wednesday. All right.
30 minutes every 2 hours.
No, I ain't gonna do it twice. No seas menso tampoco, bro. Like,
No,
what?
you do it once because it takes a lot out of you. It does. I mean, once you get out of the water, you're gonna feel like like a little tired because.
So how much
water,
Epsom salt do I put?
Like half a bag of Epsom salt in the hot water.
Dude, and TSA is gonna be looking at me like, okay, what are these minerals and Epsom salt? What are you taking to Texas right now?
When Tim Bradley fought Ruslan Provodnikov, the morning of the weigh-ins, we put him in hot water with Epsom salt, mineral oil, wintergreen, and he lost 4.5 pounds.
Wow.
In like 45 minutes.
Okay, but how do you feel afterwards? Do you feel drained?
No, you just feel like, I mean.
Wait. You said no. Tonyo says a little bit. Would you?
A little bit.
No, I mean,
lazy,
look.
lazy, not
But the reason why I said no is because this. I cannot compare you to a fighter that is losing weight when it comes to the weigh-ins.
I just got grasa. I got extra grasa.
Exactly. We don't know what your reaction is going to be because, I mean, you're fully hydrated.
So I can't do this in my hotel room by myself. If you don't know my reaction.
You're not gonna pass out. I mean, it's not like you're starving. You're not. I mean, look, if a fighter that is making weight and is very low on energy, and and low on carbs, goes into that.
Okay. Okay, now I get.
You can also use the wintergreen alcohol and put your sweatsuit on and skip rope for 20 minutes.
That's exercise. I ain't trying to do no exercise in the hotel room.
He wants to do it. He wants to do it, Toño. He wants to do it that one way.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 42 and 220. I ain't trying to do all the extra work. I ain't trying to do extra. Toño, relax here. Hey, I get paid to talk. Like when the fighters tell me like, hey man, you look like you gained some weight, dude. You look fat, and I'm like, so do you. But they pay you to make weight. They don't pay me to make weight.
But there's different procedures. Let's say, for example, okay, you want to lose 5-6 pounds.
Yeah.
What you do is you put on that mineral oil and wintergreen on your body, throw on your sauna suit, a sweater, and then start jumping rope for 15 minutes. By then, your pores are already open. You're already sweating. And once you do that, then you get into the water with the Epsom salt, and then you're gonna sweat a lot more. You know what I mean?
Because the human body, most of what we have, the excess is just water weight. That's what you're trying to lose right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, for next week with Canelo, you think Canelo's jawline looks good? I'm gonna be like, "Pow! What? ¿Qué quieres, mijo? ¿Qué quieres?" I'm gonna have cheekbones.
We're gonna see your muscles right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The eyes all sucked in.
Yeah. I'll be like, hey, right here. Lete Ariola says, "I'm gonna break out in a rash." Am I gonna be in a rash?
Nah, you're not.
No, you won't break out a rash.
I mean, look, we've done it with a lot of fighters, and nobody's ever broke down a rash. I mean, unless you're allergic to mineral oil or wintergreen alcohol. I mean, look, you drink alcohol. Let the Ariola gives you alcohol and you don't get a rash.
Yeah.
Why would you get a rash if you put it on your body?
Hey, the only thing I've ever heard one time was, "Bro, me siento un poco mal, bro."
Oh,
that was Felix Diaz when he fought Terrence Crawford. He lost 19 pounds in 6 hours.
Come on.
The last 2 pounds, the last pound, he did it in the wintergreen alcohol with the oil, and he was struggling. He went water, and he was so dehydrated. He had no water basically in his body, and the water and the smell of the alcohol was getting him a little dizzy. He's like, "Hey, bro, me siento un poco mal."
Toño, remember, I dropped Felix Diaz when he fought Chia Santana in Kentucky for that tournament. I dropped him from 147.5 to 140 in like an hour and 15 minutes because we had to be at the weigh-ins within an hour and I remember
when you were running around picking up the stuff.
Yeah, I took him on the treadmill and he was jogging on the treadmill. and I took him back to the scale, and he was still heavy. I remember I ran to a Walgreens to get the Epsom salt and the mineral oil and I still came back and I rubbed it on him and stuff and put him in the hot water, and he made weight within an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm looking up right now. Wintergreen alcohol, Dr. Fred Summit. It cost $4.40 at Walmart, $3.70 at Target. So I'm gonna go to Target, and it's Dr. Fred Summit Arthritis and Sport. Oh man, Walgreens has it. 70% isopropyl alcohol with wintergreen.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
The same as rubbing alcohol, but with the wintergreen.
So, but then I can use it for like mouthwash and everything. I'll be ready to go, bro. There we go. Okay, this is a good question, Arturo Alvarado. Where did you learn all these tricks?
Hey, in the sport, you learn a lot of tricks. You believe me.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you something.
We try so
from
many
the old
things.
school coaches.
Toño, let him finish. Don't get all excited right now.
It is an old school way, because I remember years ago. I mean, many years ago, there was no Albolene, and Albolene is a makeup remover, right? Yeah, women use makeup remover.
I've used that. It's un frasco. And then I've seen the guys, they rub it on their stomach and it makes you sweat.
The Albolene is actually a makeup remover for women, right? So people started using that because it gives you a little bit of heat and it makes you sweat. Yeah. But before all that, that's what they used to use before: mineral oil and wintergreen alcohol to sweat. Actually, so a lot of fighters believe that the mix of mineral oil and wintergreen is better than Albolene. Now they got Sweet Sweat, they got all kinds of creams, but that was the old school way of breaking water, with mineral oil. I see some of these MMA fighters, they go in the sauna tomorrow. They throw on mineral oil on their bodies. They go in the sauna for 20 minutes. They come out. They go back in and out. They lose 13, 15 pounds in 2 hours.
Damn. But then, at the same time, after I lose all this weight next week and I have my jawline and all my cheekbones, I can't go eat a pizza, right? I gotta make sure.
I mean, you can eat the pizza, but after the show.
Okay, after I get back on the plane. All right.
Yeah, don't get out of the water and say, "Oh shit, I'm gonna rehydrate." You're gonna have to wait until after the show.
Oh man, I'm telling you, the tricks that you learn on ThursDIAZ if you want to lose weight. Tanya Estrada is a friend of ours, an actress and comedian. She's watching this for the first time, and she's like, "Right." So Tanya, you're watching ThursDIAZ. We're telling boxing stories, and today it's about fitness and how to get into your girdle.
No, that was when I fought for the world title in South Africa. I was a little bit overweight, and at that time, I remember Jimmy Montoya was with me, and they're like, "Oh, he has to lose, I don't know, like 2 ounces or whatever, right?" And I'm like, "Man,
or a couple stones.
I'm dry. I can't lose weight no more. I mean, you want me to work out? I can't sweat." So I remember Jimmy Montoya tells me, "Come here." He takes me to a bathroom, and he turns on the cold water and tells me, "Put your hands in the water and just stay there." And he walks out. He goes, "Just stay there. Don't move. And just let the water hit your hands." And I go, "Okay." So I'm right there, and I'm just, okay, it feels good. The water is cold. I'm getting the feeling of the cold water in my hands. I mean, it took me like maybe 5 minutes, and I felt like going to the bathroom. I went and I peed, and I made weight. I'm telling you.
That's true.
Oh man.
There's people that get lemon. They get lemon, and then they just licking a lemon, and they're spitting, and they'll lose a half a pound in like 15 minutes just spitting, because the lemon makes you, generate saliva. And but it's the process. There's people that find like little pebbles, like rocks, little like 3 or 4 little pebbles, and put them in your mouth, and you start generating saliva and just spitting, and you lose half a pound up to a pound. Antonio, one time, I made Antonio lose a pound. Was it a pound, Antonio, just spitting from Indio to Vegas or something like that?
No, I would lose more than a pound. I mean, when I used to fight, and I was day before the weigh-ins, I was a pound or 2 over. Joel and Lee would tell me, "Hey, you want to go eat a little bit and then we'll go work out. And me, I was at the point where I didn't want to work out anymore. I was already tired. I didn't want to do nothing. So what I would do, I would just stay in my room watching TV, and I'll buy that bubble gum with the sour flavor or the watermelon, and just be chewing it. I'll buy a lot of packs and be there just with the big Gatorade bottle, just chewing gum, spitting. In the morning, I'll wake up a pound under, half pound under.
Wow,
Beto,
the sacrifices you guys make, man, it's crazy.
Antonio had a problem. There's the majority of the fighters, when they're spitting, they'll grab like a cup or something and spit. Antonio would just be in bed and poof, you spit on the carpet. You walk into your room and
Marrano.
why'd you do that?
Marrano.
I know.
Coach, this is a good question. This comes from look at Antonio's moving around. From Cuñado. What does a fighter do when he's dry and still needs to lose some weight?
Well, there's only so much you can do, wife, because everybody reacts different. There's fighters that are really completely dry, and it's based on what they did throughout their camp. There's fighters that have a process of losing weight throughout camp, and they're eating and drinking water, but then as they're getting closer to the weigh-in day, they start cutting down on their water and their food. Okay, they're gonna be dry, but since they were consuming water and a little bit of food, even though they're dry, you can still pull something from their bodies, right? And you can still make them lose maybe a pound max.
Jeez.
Okay, but when you're an undisciplined fighter,
yeah,
and you're like, it's okay. So I'm doing this and doing that, and a week before the weigh-ins, they completely stop everything, because there's fighters that completely stop eating and drinking for a whole week or two sometimes. And right there and then, when you come to the weigh-ins, and you're dry, there's really not much you can do. Because you can tell right away. I can tell right away, as my experience, when you have a fighter that needs to lose a half a pound, for example, and I can tell you, hey, I can look at him and say, he still has plenty around his body. I'll make him lose a half a pound. But when you take him to the gym, or you take him outside and you start working him out, within 5-10 minutes, and you see no sweat and they're dry, that means that they're not going to lose no more weight, because their body's not going to release anything. That's when their bodies goes into shock, and they're not going to release what they got because they need it.
Yeah, and that's when you got to worry about the kidneys and all that.
Exactly. But when you look at a fighter and you see, okay, he's dry, let's take him out there, and you start working him out, and you see a little bit of sweat coming out of their pores, okay, he still got some, let's go. But when you work them out 10-15 minutes and they're still dry, they're not gonna lose anything, not even a half ounce.
That's when you just gotta make the decision. Okay, you're not gonna make weight
right there, and then it's like, hey, that's it, it's over. He's not gonna. That's it.
It happened once with Julio. Remember when he drank that caldito de pescado the day before, and he fought. The next day was the weigh-ins, and he couldn't drop nothing. 30 minutes in the sauna, he couldn't even drop 1 ounce.
That's because that was the sodium, right? That got to him.
Yeah. He was eating too much sodium. And
that's what you said, Coach, at the beginning of the show. Like, the sodium for your fighters is the worst thing for it. Man, I don't know how we got to how to lose your lonja and how to make that last half ounce and make it already happen. But I got to go get wintergreen alcohol, rubbing alcohol, Epsom salt, and I got to do this next Wednesday in San Antonio as I get ready for the Canelo show. Toño, you are back on Sunday from Mexico City?
Oh, shit. Sunday. I'll be back in Mexicali at 10:30.
Oh, see, they got him. See, Razo got it with him. See, Toño, that's what you get. Saying all your fans are here. They cut him off. Toño's losing it. He looks like Andy Ruiz right now.
I'm here.
Yep. He froze.
No, you're frozen, Toño. You're frozen.
Toño, you froze.
See, we'll get rid of Toño. We don't need him. Nah, we don't need him. Ya ves, vete al Oxxo.
Prepárate afuera en un Oxxo, Toño. En un
Pemex.
Toño, do you guys do the bubble in Mexico City too?
No.
So what do you do?
But you guys got tested, right?
No, the thing is we got here yesterday, and they only tested Duarte. Duarte's the only one that gets tested. So they're supposed to test us tomorrow with the blood thing. I don't know. And they get the results within 10 minutes. I don't know.
As a friend of mine will say, fucking Mexico, bro. There's different rules. There's different rules. You do whatever you want. So there's no bubble?
There's no bubble because they got testing. You gotta watch yourself.
So just, hey, get them cuarto.
Ve, chingate una torta de tamal, Toño.
No, we're here at the room all day, and then the Oscar and his brother, they're like, hey, let's go walk. So fuimos a caminar para acá para tal un museo de Pancho Villa de Revolución, de que jodidos.
So there was no bubble.
Then we came back.
Hey, Duarte got tested, and he's in the streets.
Like, it's
Mexico.
Exactly it is. So tomorrow, Antonio's gonna be in Tenochtitlan right there on top of the pyramids, huh?
We're not going now. We just went out just to here and came back. And
no, just go. You got nothing else to do.
Toño, how many tortas have you had?
No tortas.
Because you got one on each side of your face.
Good.
See, Toño, you don't need this abuse. The leader of the Chusma, you can do whatever you want.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. All right, Toño. So, are you ready for your fight? Tu Gallo Duarte, he's a good kid. He only has one loss, but he's been looking strong. Does he have a good opponent?
He's fighting a kid by the name of Guillermo Avila. This guy Guillermo Avila fought Gervonta Davis. He fought Jonathan Oquendo. I mean, he's pretty tough, pretty good kid.
Okay. And then, Toño, Gabriel Soto, the famous guy from the novelas.
He'll be here tomorrow.
He's going to be there? Are you going to take a picture with him, Toño?
I already have too many. he needs to take a picture with me. You know? Yeah.
I like the attitude.
All right, Toño.
See, you guys got me in trouble.
Why?
Right now, when I was over there, you guys told me, bro, get closer, and this and that. Duarte's room is next door. Right now, he was texting me, dude, you just fucking woke me up. I told you, keep it fucking down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit.
Toño.
So
It's not our fault. We told you. You want to be on the show? Hey, you have to do with
get
it.
closer.
Toño, Gabriel Soto has 4 million followers. Your goal for this fight, Toño, is for him to post about you on his Instagram.
To do what?
Gabriel Soto, the actor,
Uh-huh.
who's Duarte's manager, 4 million followers. He's going to be at the fight. We need you to take a picture with him and for him to tag you on his Instagram. Can you make that happen, Toño?
Easy.
Easy.
Wow.
Easy.
As in, I want to see it. Even if it's in...
Tagging me photos, I'm all easy to be tagging.
Okay, I don't need it to post. If he puts it in his story, Toño Diaz, not a picture of you in the background. You two de compas. After the win, standing there. Yeah. We need that.
After the win or in the dressing room?
See.
Anyway.
See.
No, you tell me. Anywhere, or does it have to be after the win?
After the win. He's got 4 million followers, Toño.
Okay.
And then afterwards, he has to say, saludos a ThursDIAZ.
I think you're asking for too much, Beto.
No, porque, hey, Mr. He's my friend. He should take a picture with me. I have all this other stuff.
That's true. You're
Maybe
right on
a
that
picture
one.
with him ready.
Oh, well, can we get a saludos a ThursDIAZ?
I'm gonna tell him.
Que saludos a la chusma.
No, so you know what I'm gonna say? You know what? Say un saludo a las chusmas.
All right, Toño. First of all, make sure your guy wins. And then
Le
after...
voy a decir que diga, send it.
Oh, see, no, that's not us, though. See, where it is. Toño, you forget. You have your own right here. Toño, choose my leader right there.
Te lo voy a decir un saludo para los chusmas.
That's it. And Toño, just to let you know, Toño, you, Mr. I want to be on the show because I have a lot of followers and everybody comes here for me. Nobody asked for you today. Nobody was
Oh, yeah, I've
looking
been
for you.
watching, I've been reading.
Yeah.
Not even Alan Zamora?
Not even his guys. So as we wrap up the show, Coach, you were talking about that story where you took your son to Hawaii. Junior just checked in. He's watching, and he sent the picture. Let me put this up right now. After you guys took him to Hawaii, you made him starve, Tonya. You starved your nephew, but he was he was able
He made
to.
weight.
He made weight.
Oh, and then I forgot to tell you.
He wanted a steak.
Look
him.
at that. Look at that kid right there.
Yeah, right there, exactly.
Damn.
Yes. And I forgot to tell you, Beto.
He looks like Gabriel
Joel
Soto's
told me.
son.
We don't know his father yet, but yeah. We're still looking for his father.
Hey, he was still hungry right there. You can tell. And you can tell he was still hungry right there.
Pobrecitos.
Watch. The
Somebody's
top one
gonna
was
tell
not
him, man,
Hawaii.
you want some chicken nuggets?
Hey, the top one was not Hawaii. The bottom one was.
Oh, Toño, he's 8 years old. Let the kid be, man. Jeez.
the guy.
You took an 8-year-old kid to Hawaii and you made him starve, man.
But it's crazy because you see those pictures. That was after the weigh-ins. But those two pictures, they're after the weigh-ins. But you should have seen him before. He was all gordito.
Toño, that's your nephew, bro.
I know, and I felt proud of him. He retired 10-0. He's like Mayweather.
Toño, you're one of a kind. You're one of a kind. We will talk to you next. What happened? Now what, Toño? I'm trying to say bye to you.
And the thing is, for that fight, Joe didn't tell you. He told me, you know what? I don't want to train him. You train him. So Joe didn't want to train him. He didn't want nothing with him. He didn't even help me in the corner.
So, because of you, your nephew won.
No, because his father was too nervous.
I trained him. I trained him for the fight.
No.
I trained him for the fight.
We both trained him.
Yeah.
We both trained
Okay.
him.
Toño.
But when we went to Hawaii,
Ay, qué hermanos.
no, and when we went to Hawaii, I saw the kid Antonio matched him up with. I'm telling you, this kid was climbing 50-foot palm trees and bringing coconuts down. I saw that kid was bigger. That kid looked bigger. Look, and the thing is this, the kid was bigger, and you could tell he was physically stronger.
Yeah. And
when I'm there, and then I'm even asking my son, I go, are you okay? He goes, yeah, Dad, I'm good. And he's jumping around, and he never showed any signs of nervous or scared. He was actually excited. He was in the ring. And I go, Antonio, you take over, dude. I was really nervous, honestly. Antonio even wrapped him and everything. Because I saw the kid across the ring from him, and I go, I mean, I don't know. That kid looks bigger, stronger. And Junior's like, okay, he wanted a steak in the morning. He was hungry. And this kid's climbing palm trees. I go, he wanted a steak. And he did good. He dominated the whole fight.
Pobrecito. He just wanted to go to Hawaii, but Toño used the kid. I love that, Toño. You used that kid as a way to go to Hawaii. Good for you. I like that. I like that.
30, it was like 30 of us that went. It was only him.
Yeah.
No, the thing is this. As Joel knows that when I take a kid to fight and I match him, I have to have at least 80%, 85% chance that my guy's going to win. If not, I don't fight him.
Hey, actually, that's true, Beto. Let me tell you. One time,
my fighters.
Tim Bradley fought at a Thompson event. And, Tim Bradley was the main event at the DoubleTree. It was late at night. We finished the fight, and usually after fights at Thompson, we usually go to dinner, right?
Yeah.
So after the fight, we all got together and we went to Pancho Villas. I think we went to Pancho Villas. This is a restaurant right there in Riverside. So we were there till about 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning. And the next day, that was a Friday. The next day, Antonio had a boxing show at the Boys and Girls Club. So Junior was with me the whole night, and he was up all night. And he hadn't been training for about maybe 2 weeks or so, or a week. He hasn't been going to the gym. And then Antonio calls me on the way home, and he tells me, "Hey, where's Junior?" I go, "He's in the back seat. He's asleep." He says, "Oh, there's a kid here at the weigh-ins that's the same age and weighs the same. You want to fight him?" I go, "Antonio, come on. He hasn't trained in a while." He goes, "Come on. He'll beat him." I go, "Antonio, you serious?" So instead of going home, I went straight from Ontario to the Boys and Girls Club. And I told Junior, "Hey, you want to fight?" He goes, "Yeah."
Junior always wanted to fight. Junior never said no. And I wanted to do it to get his confidence up high, because he was pumped. He started training since he was a little kid. and that was gonna be his first fight. So that was a perfect opponent for him to go in there and perform and get his confidence up.
I
And
like
sure
that.
enough, he went there. He beat the crap out of the kid.
Toño, the motivator.
Yeah, so-
I like that. Toño, you're a
as I'm
motivation.
going- Look, as I'm going home, I didn't go. I went straight to the Boys and Girls Club. I got him off, and then we take him to the scale. And sure thing,
You
he
didn't
weighs
have
just
shorts.
the same as the kid.
You
didn't have shorts.
You had to put on some of yours.
So, hey, what I did,
I
Beto,
got the video I saw the other day.
I told my wife, I said, hey, he's in a fight. My wife like, okay, and we'll take him home and have him sleep. We did. We took him home for him to sleep because he didn't sleep the night before. So we took him
Nah,
home. Hey, look,
I remember
we
you
put
told
him
me
in the
the
room like the gallos. Hey, we put him in the room. We closed the door. The house was quiet so he could sleep. And I told Antonio, when the fight starts, just let me know. And sure thing, he slept through the day. And then before the show started, I woke him up and took him over there. When we got there, the local news were there, and they were recording him. And oh yeah, this is gonna be the next gallo. Like, yeah, all right.
All right, let me delete this part about child abuse. Right here, the kid was in a restaurant till 2 a.m. He didn't sleep, and then you put him in the fight. All right, Toño Diaz is his name.
He didn't sleep because he was with me. He went to the restaurant with me. He went to
He did sleep. He
Oh.
slept on the way home, and then Joe told
He
me
slept on the way home,
when Magic Monk-
and then after the weigh-ins, he went home to sleep.
No, because remember Joe told me how many fights is there? I go, I think I had like 20, 28 fights, 25 fights. He goes, hey, put him like in the high after the 15th fight, so he could sleep a couple more hours. So I put him like in the later fights, so he went and slept.
Well, your nephew has learned adversity. He learned how to get in their ring whenever you need him. Answer the bell. He's a good kid, Joel Diaz Jr. I'm actually gonna play golf with him tomorrow, I think. But regardless, all right, Toño, ya duérmete. It's after midnight in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Go,
11:30.
and I don't want you making any more noise for your gallo, Oscar Duarte. Are those fights of his on TV?
Yeah, they're on Televisa.
The Televisa? Okay, so Cesar Campos, the fights are on Televisa. All right, Toño, you hang up right now so we can talk bad about you.
Oh man, haters.
Actually, the fights are at the Televisa studios.
Oh, he's in Reforma. Oh, I know where you're at.
Yeah, Reforma.
Oh, I stayed at that hotel. It's a nice
We're
hotel.
at the Ramada. We're at the Ramada Inn.
No, you're not.
Yeah, Reforma. Yeah.
No, there's a nice fancy hotel right next to the studios.
That's this here.
But you're at
No.
you're at the Ramada.
We're at the Ramada Inn by Winham in Reforma.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Which is
Toño.
down the street. Which is down the street from the Catedral.
I guarantee you that Gabriel Soto and his 4 million followers, he's not there. He's in Polanco right now.
Tomorrow, that's where I saw you with Swanson.
Yeah.
Was it at Polanco when he fought the Combate?
Yeah, that's it. All right, Toño, hang up so we can talk bad about you.
Okay, I'm gonna have Gabriel Soto say, "What's up to
La Chusma.
Diaz?" No, to
Send
Thursday.
it. Ya duérmete, güey.
He's a character, coach. We love him. He's great. Toño's awesome. He is fantastic. He's
Not even my mom likes him.
he's one of a kind. Another edition of ThursDIAZ. We do it every Thursday. We started doing it in the pandemic just to talk. And then, Coach, I know we helped you today because you're in that bubble. You sound tired. You look a little tired. But regardless, though, it was a lot of fun, as always, entertaining the people. And my goodness, even when your brother's in another country, it's still algo. It's always siempre algo con él.
Of course, man. Hey, it's always a good thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Thursdays is always good. When you started this, I mean, remember, we've been in different places. I was in Oklahoma. I was in different spots, and that's what makes it interesting because we talk stories and we live the stories. Like, for example, today, it will be another story that we talk about in the future. And always a pleasure, Beto, having, being here with you and, giving some of the people that are watching us some of the stories that we've lived and, make them laugh at times. I mean, even though sometimes, we get a little bit out of hand, we get a little alcohol in our system, but it's part of the show, it's part of the show. At least, going through this pandemic right now, a lot of people don't have much to do. They're home, they're bored. At least, they spend a little bit of time listening to to our stories,
Yeah.
the sport that we do on a daily basis, the activity that we're living right now, and it's it's always good, man. And I'm really happy, and I'm actually glad that I'm part of this. Whatever I can do to keep people out there, and thank you for, like you said, right now
It's
I'm in a
fun.
bubble. It's great, it's fun. It is, I'm right now. I'm here. I'm gonna watch TV. Maybe watch some videos, some fights. This hour and a half, 2 hours that we spent is well spent. I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, Coach, we get a lot of the people watching us on Mondays. After seeing everything else and like the downloads, it's also available on iTunes and Spotify. You see the numbers on Mondays because they might not watch us live, but people have been sending me messages that they'll watch it when they start working on Monday. It's like on in the background for them. So I'm pretty sure there's people working like. And if you don't have your headphones on and you're hearing about Epsom salt and the faja and 4 pounds and getting a steam room and Tono, all that other stuff, it's characters. It's always characters, and it's a lot of fun. And we'll do it again next week. Next week I will be in San Antonio getting ready for the Canelo fight. Hopefully I passed my COVID test. I've taken 20 of them. I'm staying away from everybody. I took another test 2 days ago, negative, but we gotta go take another one. It's just. You just never know. But if we do that, we'll be doing the show next week from San Antonio. If not, they will put me in a car and I got to drive home. So we got to, hopefully everything's fine. Coach, you'll be on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus with Cub Swanson. He'll be fighting on Saturday. So you'll see him UFC 256. And then we'll have stories next week from UFC 256. Tono will come on for a couple minutes to talk about what it was like in the Televisa studios. And then Roberto Diaz is scheduled to join us back next week. So for Coach Joel Diaz, Tono Diaz, and all the Diaz out there, I'm Beto Duran. Thanks for watching another edition of ThursDIAZ.